Good morning. This is the lesson, the AutoCAD lesson for Thursday, April 2nd. And we're going to switch into a completely different part of AutoCAD, and we're going to start to learn how to create some of the blocks and other pieces. I call them attribute or annotative blocks that we add to a drawing to add information to it. And if you're looking at my screen right now, this is an example. This little guy right here is an attribute block. And we make them, an attribute is a sort of an electrified, it's different than a regular block, like a toilet or a tub, in that it has some information tied to it that every time you insert it, you get to update that information. So if you look at this right here, I know it's hard to see, this is in color. This is my second floor plan, and if I hover over this, this is a detail title. It gives the title of this detail, and the detail is the second floor plan. And this tells me that this is view 1 on a sheet that I'm going to number A2, A for architectural. This is the second. A1 was probably my first floor plan. And the scale of this drawing is 1/4 inch equals a foot. And each of these, there are 4 attributes here. This piece of text here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so when we insert this, if I needed another detailed title, and let's see if I have one. If this is my first floor plan and I wanted to insert one, I would type I for insert like any other block. This is my detail. I click it over here, and I can put this in here. I'm going to put it off to the side so you can actually see it. And now I get a dialog box that asks me to fill in some information. And this is going to be my first floor plan. And this is going to be detail 1 on sheet A1. And the scale is 1/4 inch. Now I'm going through this real fast because I just want to show you what this thing is that we're making, and then you'll come back and then I'll go through it much slower. But I want you to focus for a second. I just put all this information in, and I knew what information to put in because these 4 prompts are actually prompts that we're going to create in a minute. And when I'm ready, I say okay, and there's my detail. Okay, so how did I do all that kind of cool stuff? I am going to save that and close this drawing out. And I want you to open up your floor plan, and I'm going to close this out as well. And the first thing we need to do when we create these attribute blocks is they all have text or numbers in them, and we have to make sure we have all those text styles. And I'm not sure that we do. I know I gave you some of those, and we did a little bit of that, but I honestly don't remember. So what we're going to do for a moment is we're going to go up here to annotation, click the down arrow, and we're going to make sure that we have some text styles. And you're going to click on that, and you'll see in this file that I only have dim, multi-leader, and notes. So we're going to create some new ones, and I'm going to do that by selecting new. And I'm going to start putting them in here. So I'm going to hold a second so I can show you what the text styles are that we're going to make. Okay, through the magic of video, I now have this information. This document will be in D2L for you as a handout called Annotative and Attribute Blocks. So you'll have access to this. But we are going to make sure you have these 4 text styles. And so to do that, I'm going to go back up here to annotation. Oh, that thing just went away. It'll come back in a minute. A with the little paintbrush. And we are going to add new text styles. And the first one that I'm going to put in, and if I can get that Word document to come back up here, is view sheet number. And this is the text style that I'm going to use whenever I put a view number in or a sheet number. After that, I'm going to make a text style called sheet detail title. I'm going to use that text whenever I put a sheet title in or a detail title. Page number is a text style I'm going to use whenever we put a page number in, and project name is the one whenever we put the project name in. The fraction next to it is the size of the text, 1/8 inch tall, 1/4 inch tall, 5/8, and 3/8. The font is Arial, and they're all going to be annotative. So the first style we're going to use is view underscore sheet number. So I'm going to come over here and type view underscore sheet num. and say OK. And I'm going to open that guy back up and make sure he's 1/8 of an inch tall. And I think I can slide this guy over here and keep that guy. 1/8 of an inch tall, Arial, and annotative. So right now it remembers the last font I made. So I'm going to click on that, and I want Arial. I can either spend all my time scrolling all the way up to Arial, or I can just come up here, type AR, and then it comes, it's pretty close, Arial, and I think it was 1/8 inch, and make sure it says annotative. So I get the little triangle. I'll just make sure it was 1/8 inch. Yep, it was 1/8 inch. And I say apply. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do another new one because I have to make sure I have 3 more. This one is going to be sheet detail title. I apologize for that. That keeps disappearing. And I say OK. Sheet detail title. And I spelled it DEET, and here I spelled it DTL. It doesn't matter. Detail title, 1/4 inch, Arial, and I want you to do the same thing for page number and project name. And you'll see I now have my page number, project name, sheet detail title, and view sheet number. I've changed the paper height, text height in each one of those, and I'm going to set sheet detail title current because that's the first one we're going to put in. We're going to put the detail title in there and set that guy current and close. All right, just like every time I make a block, I have to do 2 things. I have to switch back to layer 0. So I'm going to go over here, switch to layer 0. And I have to be at 1:1. So I'm going to click the down arrow and switch this to 1:1 all the way at the top. And I'm going to draw that little, pause a second. So this is really, we're going to draw 2 things first. We're going to draw a circle, and it is 5/8 inch in diameter. And then we're going to draw a line starting at this. If this is 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we're going to start at 9 o'clock and draw a line that's 5 inches long. All right, so I'm at layer 0, 1:1. I'm going to draw C for circle, or you can come over here and click on this one, and come on. And so now I can plunk this guy anywhere. And if you remember, when he builds a circle, first he wants you to find a center point. And I'm going to put mine over here by the window because I want you to see something. And now as I drag my hand out, if I put my hand right in, he is defaulting to radius, and my circle is 5/8 inch in diameter. So you can either do the math and type in a radius of 5/16, or you can right click on your mouse, hit diameter, and now type in 5/8. And you'll see that that's a very, very small circle, and it's supposed to be a small circle. If you think about whenever we draw in this model space black background, you are drawing everything in real world size. So if these 2 walls, the walls of my cottage, are 7.5 inches apart, then this makes sense that that's a little circle that's less than 1 inch in diameter because he's 5/8 of an inch. And now I'm going to draw my line, and I'm going to start over here. If you're not getting your circle to snap, you're going to come down here in your object snap and make sure that quadrant is turned on, and that lets you snap to 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 12, 3, 6, 9. So I'm going to do that, and start over here and draw over 5 inches. And that's what it is, and that's the scale it should look at. If your circle is bigger than mine in relationship to the line, it is because you did radius and not diameter. A quick way to fix that, or even to determine it, is if you select the circle, left click, right click, properties, and I'm going to make this box bigger, and you'll see that the diameter is 5/8 and the radius is 5/16. If your radius is 5/8, that's how yours looks, and then you can just come in here and change it back. So the diameter should be 5/8, and then you can close that guy out. Okay, So